Time is money. And a great way to save both is to implement an AI assistant into your sales process. My name is Gabriel Ryan, and for the past 17 years, I've been helping entrepreneurs and small business owners grow their businesses by getting more leads and customers. Let's dive in. So what exactly do I mean when I talk about an AI assistant and adding them into your sales process? Let's first take a look at why you might want to do this and what you might be leaving on the table if you don't. You see, the most successful entrepreneurs are aware that the most important thing that they can do in their business is to clone themselves. They risk capital to get a return. They go and find team and they develop people to help grow the business. As my mentor calls it, you build the machine that builds the machine. So as long as you're the one in there every single day, reaching out to leads, following up with prospects, closing deals, you're always going to be bottlenecked by your own calendar. And for those of you that have already bought back some of your time, and maybe you have a sales team that's working for you, that's working your leads, that's helping you grow your business, imagine how much more production you could get out of them if you gave each and every one of them an assistant. You know, back before I started my first business, I worked for one of the big banks. I worked for Discover. I'll never forget walking into the building the first day. There was definitely a buzz in the room. It was a massive call center with loan officers and agents and processors on the phone, making deals, answering client questions. And it was immediately obvious to me that this was a machine, that Discover knew exactly how to take a massive amount of leads into their business and then communicate with those leads and turn them into customers. But here's the thing that really caught my attention about that machine, because not every single team member in that room was operating at the same level. There were a select few loan officers that did like 80% of the volume of the entire business. And initially I was kind of dumbfounded. How could this be possible? That there would just be a select few sales reps that would do so much more volume, not just 20% more, 50% more, but like 5 to 10 times the volume that everyone else was doing. And then I realized exactly what it was. You see, Discover was smart because they wanted to reward their top performers. And you want to know how Discover rewarded their top performers? By giving them an assistant. Every single month, Discover would look at the entire team and take the top 20% of those performers and literally pay another individual to be that salesperson's sales assistant. The sales reps that proved that they could already produce were given more resources to be able to produce even more, which compounded and was really great for the business, and it gave the sales reps something to fight for. Now, I'll be honest, once somebody got into one of those top spots, it was really hard to unseat them because they had so much more available to them because they had another human that was helping them with their pipeline. So now what does this have to do with you and your business? Now, whether you are a solo operator and you're the only salesperson in your business, maybe you have a small team, or maybe you have a whole team and a building of salespeople like they do at Discover. I want you to just take a moment right now, and I want you to picture all the salespeople in your organization. Again, maybe it's just you, maybe it's just the person in the mirror. And now I want you to imagine that person or that team of people each having their own personal assistant that had one singular goal: to convert more of the leads coming into that salesperson's pipeline. And that is exactly what an AI assistant can do in your sales process. Now, there are a few critical reasons as to why this works so well. What once may have cost your business tens of thousands of dollars a year to hire an actual human sales assistant now can be done for a fraction of that. And to be honest, with actually a lot more output, a lot more consistency, and possibly even more importantly, every single one of your salespeople can get access to this. Where at Discover, it was just reserved for the top of the pile because obviously there were constraints there. The business had to hire and pay and train and retain those individuals. With a team of AI assistants, there's no lid. Everybody can have an assistant. So whether you're a team of 1, 10, or 100 or more, the right assistant can apply leverage and get you more production out of your existing leads and traffic. But how does this compare to other automation and chatbots and things that we've seen before? There are two critical reasons why this works so well, and why for most businesses, it's the very first thing that I recommend and install into their business to help them grow. The first is something we call speed to lead. I don't need to tell you in this fast-paced, social media-driven world how short people's attention spans are. When they are searching for a solution to their problem, which should be your business, your product, your offer, your service, if you're not able to engage them the moment that they are interested and reach out, the chances of you converting them and winning them over to become a customer of yours drops off a cliff. We have seen conversion rates and revenue go down in as little as 90 seconds to 2 minutes, which means if somebody reaches out to your business and does not get an immediate response, they're already on to the next, looking for a different solution. Now, up until this point, there's been a lot of different ways that technology and different companies have tried to systematize or train or automate that speed to lead. But here's where they've fallen short up until now. I want you to think back to the last time that you had to call your bank for something. And if you called up the bank or maybe your cell phone provider, and what's the first thing that happens when you dial that number? Usually you're getting a recorded message with a bunch of options, right? It might say, hey, if you're an existing customer, press 1. If you're looking to sign up for a new account, press 2. If you're looking for business questions, number 3, or if you have a loan application, press 4. For all others, press 5. And then you go ahead and maybe you press 2 or 3 and it gives you another series of options. Now, these big companies do this because the alternative for them might be to have you call in and leave a voicemail, and then they've got to go through the work of finding the right person on their team, maybe in a team of hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands, who can actually answer your request. And by forcing you to kind of click through the buttons and sort yourself, they're going to have a better chance of getting you to the right individual. But does it feel personal? Does it feel like you're just another number? Do you find yourself sometimes just smashing the 0 button or the pound button, trying to get a hold of someone that can actually respond to your request? Because a lot of times it turns out that the list of options that they give you, you don't fit into any of them. And we've seen this same problem when it comes to online business as well with automation. You might fill out a form and sure, you can drop someone into a funnel or an automation and send them a series of kind of programmed messages or chats. But all too often, these messages don't connect because your prospect can just tell that they're not sent by a human, that they're not personal. They feel stale, they feel robotic, which even if you're quick to respond, your prospect might still continue on doing additional research till they find a competitor that they can actually get on the phone with, actually get into a messaging thread with, and find some sort of connection to help them solve their problem. So the first thing that an AI sales assistant can do for you is help you with that speed to lead piece. Because the second somebody fills out a form on your site, or they send you a DM through social, or respond to one of your ads, that AI assistant can immediately send an intro message out to that lead and begin a sales conversation. What's even better is because of some of the developments in AI recently, there's a lot of contextual awareness that the AI just inherently has that your pre-programmed chatbot or automation doesn't. The AI can know what time of day or night it is, whether you're open for business right now or not. And more importantly, it can respond based upon the responses it's getting from your prospect. Which brings me to the second point here into why this works so well. If the first is speed to lead, the speed that you're actually able to respond back to a lead in case you're out on site or busy with an existing client, in case you're out on location or on site or doing the work that you do in your business. Maybe you're working and serving with an existing client or on another sales call with your AI assistant engaged. They can be responding to as many leads as you can have pumping into your business all at the same time without you missing a beat. And then the second piece here is the personalization piece. What's missing in chatbots and most automations and funnels is it doesn't feel personal. Your prospects and your best customers can see right through it. And what they want the assurance that you're going to be able to help them, that your company is going to be able to help them get the result that they're after. Whether you're selling a meal prep service and they just want to know that they're going to be able to get their certain dietary restrictions met. Or maybe you're a dog trainer and they just need to know a little bit about your training methodology. Your prospects want to feel seen and heard, which is quite literally impossible with anything that is pre-programmed. But with AI, we can actually program a persona just in the same way that you would if you were actually hiring a human sales assistant. So when you introduce an AI assistant into your sales process, you don't have to worry anymore about leads slipping through the cracks or having a delayed response, even if it's after hours, at night, or on the weekends. And you can also rest assured that you've got an employee, albeit an AI one, that follows your process to the T every single time more consistently than any human ever could. Now, I'm not saying that the bots are going to completely replace everyone on your team and all of our jobs, but with absolute confidence, I'm telling you, there are definitely certain processes, and especially those right at the beginning of the sales journey, that are ripe for outsourcing to an AI assistant. And once installed, now you've got quicker replies, your business comes off more professional, more relatable, not to mention your prospects are going to ascend through the sales process much faster, which means the time it takes for someone to find out about your business, raise their hand and request some information and actually become a paying customer, that timeline shrinks, which just proves one of the tried and true laws of sales, and that is money loves speed. And those are all the reasons why we choose to use an AI assistant in our business. Ours is called Ava. Ava's pretty incredible. We use her in our business as well as in the businesses of our clients. In fact, just this last week, we installed Ava into one of our clients who is a dog trainer. This client has a small team where the owner is sometimes doing sales calls and training. They've got a couple of trainers and an individual who's dedicated to doing evaluations and demos, which is how their sales process works. Someone fills out a form on their site, they come in for a free demo, get to experience the dog training for themselves, and then they decide whether or not to become a client. And up until this point, before they had Ava in their business, they were using some automation. So when a lead would come in, they would send out some emails and text messages to try to get the lead to book a time on a calendar. They would also manually reach out and call. They'd even hired some VAs overseas to try to help work those leads. And they'd had some success to be able to book demos and have been in business for nearly a decade now doing dog training. They're good at what they do. They had a sales process that worked. But as soon as we met, there was a massive opportunity to save their time on the front end of the sales process that could then be poured back into growing the business, getting more leads, and spending more time with their existing clients, which would turn into referrals, which eventually would turn into more revenue as well. And so just last week, we installed Ava into their business, and in less than 5 days, they had booked 10 demos. I should say Ava had booked 10 demos for them in less than a week, without a single member of their team having to pick up the phone, send an email, a text message, coordinate schedules, or anything. One of my favorite conversations that Ava had, and this stuck out to the client as well, is when a new lead had come in, just like it normally did, and Ava sent out her intro message saying, "Hey, this is Ava. Did you just fill out a form about dog training?" The prospect responded yes. And now the AI assistant was engaged in a conversation. Now, we've programmed Ava to be friendly and helpful to answer the prospect's questions, but we gave her the primary objective of one thing: to book a demo, a free evaluation for someone to come into their training facility. And so what Ava is trained to do is to offer up times to do that. So Ava followed the script. She offered up a couple of times, but the prospect was not available and mentioned that they were a first responder, so their schedule is a little bit crazy. And here's the beauty of an AI assistant. Ava was aware of the context that she was just given by the prospect, that the prospect was a first responder, and Ava actually thanked her for her service. But beyond that, Ava stayed on track, offered up a couple more times. The prospect went, "Ugh, I'm so sorry, we have swift water training that day." Without missing a beat, Ava responded back with a couple more times saying, "Hey, no worries, I get it that your schedule is crazy. What about one of these times?" After a couple of back and forths, they found a time that worked. Ava got her booked onto the schedule, and less than 72 hours later, that first responder became a brand new buyer for our dog training client. Needless to say, after diving into that conversation after the fact, our client was all in on the idea of their AI assistant, and that was just within the first week. If you want to know how you can leverage AI to make more money in your business, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because in the next video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it.